Whether it was from the recent hit below the belt or something else, KP basically driving in and trying to avoid contact with Drummond is entirely what led to the sequence that caused this ankle sprain. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Brian Sutterer, and this is your #1 source for learning about the unique medical side of the world of sports. Donovan Mitchell, Trae Young, Deni Avdija, and now Kristaps Porzingis have all injured their ankles here in just the past week or so. Just before the play where he sprained his ankle, KP took this shot below the belt when he was driving in for the shot against Andre Drummond, and you can see Drummond's knee basically come up and hit KP there in the groin. And I can't help but think that this played a significant role in the sequence that led to the actual ankle sprain. This was when he sprained his ankle, and here we can see Porzingis basically running into the lane to try to get this rebound or a putback. And if you watch closely here, at the last minute as he's coming up to Drummond, he basically kind of shuffles to the side. As he comes in here, instead of going straight up at the last minute, he basically kind of hops to the side. He sees that Drummond's right there, and he just sort of shifts over to the side, I'm guessing to avoid contact. Now, of course, in someone who just got hit in the groin by the same player, that's going to be kind of your instinctual reflex to not want to go into that contact. But it's this kind of movement that throws off his entire jump, his entire landing, and ultimately leads to right there when we see that ankle sprain. If we look in this view, you can actually see initially his eyes are looking up at the ball, but then as he gets in closer to Drummond at the last minute, he kind of shifts his focus down a little bit right there, and then makes that little jump to the side to avoid that direct contact. When he makes that jump to the side, that changes everything with his expected landing. Now that contact is a little bit more awkward, his body's kind of rotating a little bit, and that left foot comes out in an unexpected way and goes down to result in that ankle sprain. His legs are pointed here at such an awkward angle as he's trying to come down and land, and that left foot makes contact with the court before he's really expecting it and he can brace himself. So that left foot makes contact there early, and all of his momentum basically carries him forward over that ankle, resulting in that inversion ankle sprain that we see here. Now, hopefully you've seen enough ankle sprains by now to realize this is a classic inversion lower lateral ankle sprain, not your high ankle sprain mechanism, but still looked pretty darn severe. Now, I want to go over something new that I don't think I've actually ever discussed with an ankle sprain video, and that's the criteria that doctors will use to determine whether or not someone needs x-rays. Of course, the x-rays don't show the ligaments, which are what are injured in an ankle sprain. The x-ray shows the bone, but there are key areas of tenderness that help clue us in that we could be at high risk for a fracture. We use something called the Ottawa foot and ankle rules. For the Ottawa ankle rules, the first criteria is that the patient has pain in what we call the malleolar zone. So this area kind of centered around the lateral malleolus on the outside of the ankle, and then on the inside of the ankle around the medial malleolus. So that's the first criteria, pain around that side of the ankle. The second is if you have either pain at a specific location here on the lateral malleolus, the back portion of the lateral malleolus, or if you have pain on the medial, on the inside, the medial malleolus here in this back portion. The reason we care mainly about the back portion of this bone is because the most common ligament injured in an ankle sprain, this ATFL, sits more on the front side. And so we don't want to be pushing on that ligament, kind of causing a false positive. The third criteria is if they can't bear weight there on the court or on the field when it happened, and then also in the emergency department. If you meet that criteria, you get x-rays. The Ottawa foot criteria is similar, except now instead of pain in this malleolar zone, it's pain more in the region of the midfoot right here. And then the tender spots that we look at are going to be the base of the fifth metatarsal, which is this outer lower portion of one of the toe bones, or pain on the navicular bone, because of course that's one that we really worry about if there is in fact a fracture. And then similar to the ankle rules, if you can't bear weight there after the injury and then in the emergency department. Of course, with Porzingis, they're going to get x-rays no matter what, and they're, I'm sure, going to get an MRI tomorrow as well. This was also the first game of a back-to-back, and certainly fatigue can play a role in some of these injuries that we see. In this exact situation where a lot of this just poor positioning with trying to land properly was, I think, in part because of him trying to avoid that contact at the last minute. I don't really think fatigue played as big of a role here in this injury, but of course the Mavericks are probably going to be asking these questions with it being the first of his back-to-backs. So that's it for the video, everybody. I hope this was educational. Let me know as always any questions or comments down below. And until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.